Welcome to the Republican Roundtable. I'm Jacqueline America, your host. We have two House candidates today. We have Kim Rich and we also have Chris Wedum. Kim, you're running in Senate District 46B.
Correct.
And that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
That's Northwest Edina
Okay.
and Hopkins.
Okay.
And there's 2 precincts in St. Louis Park.
Okay.
So 3 cities.
Yeah.
And I don't know the population of each one, but Edina was cut basically in half down Highway 100 a few years ago in the census, after the census. And so anyway, I have been an entrepreneur all my life. I've been in sales most of that time, and we've been in Edina for about 26 or 28 years. And I've been married for 35 years. Anyway, I retired from the insurance business a few years ago, and they asked if I would consider running, and I decided to do that. And that was in 2024. This is my second time trying to run for the House in 46B.
Okay, in 46B. And Chris, you're in 50A.
Yeah, I'm in 50A.
Tell us about yourself.
I'm doing Edina and Bloomington, so delighted. I've been in Edina for 17 years. I've lived in many houses in Edina. I've bounced around between White Oaks and Country Club, and now I'm closer to Concord Elementary School. I've been married 22 years. I don't have it on you. You've got longer years. I have 3 kids, all that went through the Edina school. I am a corporate gal. I've been in corporate my whole life. I've worked for large organizations, and really what I've done is brought people together to really build up programs and execute on them. So that's why I'm running for House.
Okay, so, and I've looked at your website too. Great, you both have really nice websites. Your website, with your corporate background, it's one of your topics had a little bit to do with business.
Yes.
And Minnesota has a habit right now of running business out of the state.
Yes.
So as a House rep, what would you do to keep business here? Or what do you think?
Yeah.
What do we need to do with our businesses that are bleeding out of the state?
Yeah, I mean, we have a 22% unemployment rate right now, so we're going in the wrong direction for sure. It's something I'm really passionate about because that's my background. I am a recruiter by trade, and then I moved into leadership. So building organizations, managing teams, that's my passion. So when I see companies leaving, and I really do look at why are we losing people. A lot of it has to do with the way that we're not tax friendly to businesses, and so as a candidate, I would be digging into that. How do we look at how we can be more tax friendly to small businesses? I'm actually in the process of meeting with somebody on Friday that's going to walk me through some of the things that he's seeing in the industry as well. He sells insurance to small and mid-sized companies, both benefits and insurance, and he's noticing people leaving too, and it has a lot to do with the Paid Leave Act. So as I learn more about that, I'll be able to share what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, and really kind of get a pulse on that. It's a big deal for Minnesota.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. And Bloomington has a huge, I mean, they have the Mall of America. There's all kinds of business down here. So, Kim, so what kind of things are you running for in your area?
Well, I would parallel with Chris. Being an entrepreneur all my life, I'm pro-capitalism and pro-business. I want to do things that would encourage more business to come to Minnesota rather than leave the state because of the high taxes here. I think we're the 4th or 5th highest tax state in the United States.
Keeps going up and up.
And that makes a big difference to companies that are looking at, when I retired, people were asking me, what are you going to do now? And I was like, well, I'm not opening a small business in Minnesota.
Right.
And my wife is still working here, so we're here. And but a lot of people have fled, and we want to keep people here.
It's a huge turn. I have a small business. I'm not expanding my business because I'm afraid of the taxes.
Yeah.
So it's
well. What does it do for the young generation? The younger generation that want to build a company and want to be creative and want to use their degree in a different way and want to explore those options and give back to the communities. So I think it's a big piece that we need to figure out.
And President Trump helped out with that with some of the he provided some funding and grant work for small businesses, which was
Yeah.
interesting. In the building that I was in, it filled up really quick. It was kind of cool. It was
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
cool.
Right.
So, yeah. So,
It's a no-brainer. If people have an opportunity and they want that opportunity, they'll come here.
Yes.
yeah.
And that increases your tax base. When there's more people here
Exactly.
paying taxes, it increases everybody's prosperity.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Well, what's another education? seemed like was one
education
of-
is important to me. We've seen a decline in academics in our state, and it's actually quite shocking to know that some of our minorities have fallen behind Mississippi in academics.
Sure.
And we've always prided ourselves that we were one of the top states in the United States for our schools. And Edina and Hopkins they've been leaders in that.
Is that because of a language barrier? Or is it-
It's probably part of that, yes. I know I've talked with teachers and they've said that that's an issue, that, they're faced with a person that doesn't understand what they're trying to say. And, acclimating to the United States can be a test for anyone. Children are usually pretty good at that, though. They pick up things really fast. And so we can do better than we're doing. I know that we can. And I know that the bureaucracy in the state of Minnesota has grown a lot. I know that, I don't want to say superintendents necessarily, but the higher levels of the administration in our school systems have grown their income by over 200% or 280%. And the students are getting about 3% of an increase in their amount that's going into the classroom. That's an easy fix. We can make sure that those kids are getting whatever resources that they need. And teachers' pay has gone up about 9%, but the superintendents are like making a big killing here, and I think we can fix that.
So that would be salary cuts or just,
Well, I think they're staffing for a lot of the new programs that they want to teach, and
so more like,
and they're not teachers. This is the administration. They're hiring people for whatever purposes, and the teachers are left there to do whatever they can. And I think the curriculums need to
Yeah,
have
they're
some
not just
attention.
focusing on reading, writing, and arithmetic.
I know
Yep.
the Senate candidate in our district, 46, her name is Kayla Wright. She's a former parent that was watching her kids be taught that algebra has something to do with racism. And she actually closed the kid's laptop during COVID. It was, while they were homeschooling. And, she's felt that was a big issue, and she's now gotten to the point where she's running for the Senate. So, there's ways to correct the path that we've taken, and I think we can do that.
Well, that explains why I can't do algebra.
I know. Well, there is that. I mean, but
Oh,
it's
that's crazy.
to suggest that it has anything to do, math is not where that belongs, and so.
Sure. Yeah, so they've kind of gotten away from just the basics of learning into crazy things
Yeah.
that just have nothing to do, but pronouns are important.
Well,
So,
that's what
yes.
they're placing a lot of importance on.
Yeah, and I'm glad that we're getting rid of some of that too.
Yeah.
It's not okay to do with kids. So what is something that's really important to you besides business? What would you like? What else is affecting business? Would crime have anything to do with that, or is that in play with business not wanting to be here? I mean, look at Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Or what happened to Minneapolis or St. Paul?
Yeah, I don't know if I mean, I'm sure that's part of it. I guess for me, one of the things that's really important right now is the fraud. I would say that directly is going to impact all of our economic growth and wealth and prosperity here. We need to be taking a look at, so I mean, I would say with the Office of Inspector General, that's a big piece of where I would lean in from a Republican standpoint. It's created, it has legs. It's really a way to look at our fraud in a very different way. And so that's something that's a big piece of where I would step in. I think also when we talked about the taxes for the businesses, we're getting taxed double now because of the fraud. I mean, they're taking the money and they're supposed to be giving it to these programs that are going to be helping people. Well, it's not. So we're going to have to come up with the money to help people. So the Medicaid, the assisted living, the child care, it just goes on. And I don't think businesses want to get involved in that. They don't want to come here and have a tax burden or something that's going to go to fraud. So I think those pieces really kind of work with the businesses as well.
So when you said Minnesota Fraud Intelligence Company, would that be like something working with like the auditors or working with the prosecutors or?
Yeah, so you've got the Office of Inspector General, which is actually been created by the governor. But then there's also that piece that you're talking about, which is actually the auditor. I'm going to grab my notes because it was such an important piece, and I want to make sure we talk about it. You interviewed Nate George, and his interview was so impactful to me because I don't think people understand some of the really good work that Nate George and Ron can do if they're hired in.
Schultz,
yes, both of those candidates have such a great idea. It's called Minnesota Fraud Intelligence Center, and you covered it with Nate. But after I watched it, I was like, that's something I would actually support with the Republican Party, is to help them in any way I can to make sure I'm supporting them. But then also, when you look at the Office of Inspector General, that piece alone, I'm not sure if people understand that we have a statute of limitations coming up around fraud. So there's, I think I was told it's about a year that we have left to prosecute this fraud. And so what we want to see happen is that we get the right people in seats in the House and the Senate so we can move forward with extending that status, the statute of limitations to 10 years, which would match what the bank is doing. So I think those pieces where I come in and I do the due diligence and I really understand what is our party going to do and how can I support that and be a part of that process in a really great way.
Yeah, that's really important.
Yeah.
Because it's just been swept under the rug continuously, and nothing's becoming of it. Some people are going to jail.
Yes.
There's just even another story that these people that have all this money from millions of dollars of fraud, they're actually getting help with the defense attorneys that we're paying for.
Yes.
But if you get a parking ticket or something, you can't, because you make a little bit more, you can't get any advice or anything like that. It's like, what is, it's so backwards.
It's so bad. And the thing that really I say is Minnesotans are so nice. They're so nice. They're so generous and giving and compassionate. And, it's such a, for lack of word, it's such a, we've been abused in a sense that we're so kind and nice. And I think there has to be accountability with that.
Yep. Well, what do you think about all this fraud?
Well, the same thing. It's, we can fix this, and extending a statute of limitations may help. I've talked to people at the doors, and the Democrats will always say that this is just a few bad actors that are committing this. But what happened back in 2024 after the session was quite appalling, in the sense that the Democrat Party had their trifecta and they were basically building an infrastructure to allow this to happen.
Right.
And that was devastating to our communities. And now, obviously, the bad actors are getting caught, and some of them are being prosecuted. But it's really not you can't just blame someone for taking something that's handed to them. And it kept on, they've been keeping on giving it to them. They're not stopping.
Right.
Feeding Our Future is still in business.
Yeah, and Republicans tried to put an end to that in 2018, and they just rolled over and passed it again and gave it more money.
Right, so, they're not going to stop taking the money as long as it's there. And, back in 2024, we had that surplus of our tax revenue to work with, and then they, at the end of the session, rose our taxes $10 billion in addition to that. So, we're going to feel the effects of this for a long, long time. But a correction can be made, and if voters get out, we can maybe make a difference.
Sure.
Yeah.
What is there any kind of program or anything that would help with that, or what?
Well, I think turning off the spigot would be the biggest thing we could do, is making sure that, like you say, the auditors and
Yeah.
the people that are in charge of the money, if there's some red flag going up, you don't continue to pay them.
Right.
And there's Connect the Dots, a program going around with the Center of the American Experiment. If you go attend one of those sessions, they're touring right now in Minnesota, you can learn about who's connected to who, and really understand how the money's flowing out of our state.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. And it hurts people who actually need.
Right.
And
need
it's
those
hurting people.
programs.
Right.
A gentleman died. There was a person that was being contracted with someone to
Need
do
medical care.
their help and get
Assistant.
their help, and they were just left to die in their own home.
Yeah. They were
And-
marking that he was being seen and he wasn't, and that's not okay.
And they're collecting the money.
And who is being
beyond.
held accountable?
Right.
Yes.
You know?
Right.
So the accountability rests with the voters. It's we the people. The people are electing their government to represent them, and if they continue to do the same thing that they've always done in Minnesota, we're going to end up with the same thing that we have. If you really want to make a change about these things, you have to consider another option.
Yes.
And
I would
here
say,
she is.
Yes, I would say I would say everyone I've talked to is ready for change. They're ready for change. They have acknowledged that this is a huge issue and that they need different leadership. They need leaders that are bold, can really stand up for them, can come in and be the voice for them. I think that's what we're here for. That's why we're doing this, is we are the voice, and we will do that. We will stand up for those that have been treated unfairly and unkindly, and make sure it stops, that spigot stops, and that there's transparency. One of the things I liked about Nate and Ron's situation is that once they do this program, you can actually see it as
have a
an individual
computer.
person. Yeah, so
They'll have software to
yeah, so it's software, and so individuals will be able to see exactly what's going on.
where the money's being spent.
Yeah,
and-
so that transparency I think is key for all of us. I think we all want to see the transparency in that change. So we have really good people running, and I think the voting, to your point, people need to get out and vote, and just make sure that their voice is heard. Every single voice, every single vote counts. We need everyone to vote.
Right. When things are become so uncomfortable now,
Yeah.
finally, that people really are, like you said, we need that change.
Yeah.
And the voting ID is one of the biggest things. Is that something that you would consider bringing to Minnesota? We have federal voting IDs, what they're trying to pass right now, but would you try and do something like trying to have Minnesota show voter ID as well? Or
I mean,
know
I would
we've
support
gone
it
up
80
and down with it.
It's like 82% support it.
Yeah.
So I would have no issue with that.
Yeah,
So
me
maybe
too.
legislation for that.
Although just having the ID, it'd have to be a voter ID. It wouldn't be, because the people that were crossing the border during the Biden administration were marching up to Minnesota to get a driver's license,
Yeah.
a photo ID, and who knows? I mean, that might be the, the DFL pathway to citizenship now. But
Well, on licenses, they used to have on the back, they'd have something, they'd have like a little mark that meant that you can't vote. It meant like you had a green card or you're a felon, but which we don't do anymore. But we used to have a mark on it, but it made people feel bad. So we took that off. And it's just like feelings again. It's
Yeah.
like,
We need just common
when I
sense.
knocked doors in 2024, I spoke with quite a few people that were ineligible to vote. I'd knock their door and they were in an apartment somewhere, and they were happy that I was there, and we were talking about the issues, their kids in school, and they're here. But a lot of them understand that they're not eligible to vote, and they won't. They will not vote, because you can kiss your citizenship goodbye if you're ever caught doing that.
Right. Yeah. They can work on
you-
campaigns, though.
Well,
They can put up signs.
there's that, but I mean, that's fine. And but to actually go to the level of voting,
Sure.
if you're aware that you're not eligible,
Yeah.
you know, some of those folks are very, very law-abiding. They're not going to take a chance on doing that until they're actually, you know, certified as a citizen. So
Yep. So we got to get voter ID passed.
Yeah.
that would be a good idea. It
think
is a
it'd be
good
great.
idea.
Yep.
And again, most Americans, most Minnesotans support that. If you ask people, it's not really that controversial.
A lot of people in the Democrats too. They
Yeah,
want it too.
right, exactly. Both parties are like,
think
it's not that controversial.
Yeah. So that'd be great to do.
It
Yeah.
would be.
It'd be a good citizen thing to. And we had talked about some citizen stuff that you've done. You had worked with the Citizens Academy in Edina. Is that correct?
It's the Citizens Academy in Edina. That's the police department, and they do every fall 13 or 14 week long, one night a week, and they basically show you everything that they do. Everything. Each evening is dedicated to one specific thing.
Is it just the police, or is it?
It is well.
fire too, or-
There was regarding
City council
the
or-
investigation of a murder that happened in Edina.
Okay.
The sheriff's department had their forensic people there to demonstrate what they do,
Okay.
and it's kind of gross sometimes. Some of these issues are
Well,
very.
We have all those CSI shows.
Yeah, well, and this is real. I mean, those are can be gruesome too, but this, and it isn't terribly gruesome, but you know, you can modify whatever amount you will accept yourself. But it's so informative. They're so great.
Do they go over like traffic stops?
Everything? Yes, they show you how a traffic stop is done, and then they let you try to do it.
Oh.
And it's a great experience. They have an array of drones. There's a pilot that's dedicated to doing the drones, and they have that guy, and we did a whole thing on that one night. And it goes the full range, and then you graduate, and so I recommend it. It's really fun. I think Bloomington does that as well.
Oh, okay.
I'm
So
not
some
sure
other
when they do it
municipalities.
and how they do it, but I know that Edina's doing it. Golden Valley may, Robbinsdale may, I'm not sure. But
Sure.
I know that other communities are doing that. I recommend that.
Are you certified to like help the police out, or is it just?
Well,
is it
the
just to
police
get to know
department
what
does have volunteers that will, they're not really deputized or anything like that, but they have a uniform and they can be a presence when necessary.
Okay.
Like at a parade, at the Edina parade, there were some people there that were,
Okay.
and but they're not officers, you
But
know.
it's different from like riding with the police and seeing what they do.
Well, I did a ride along.
Oh, okay.
I did
You
a
did
ride
one
along
too.
that's
Okay.
included as well.
Oh.
You know, and I've done a couple other ride-alongs before that, so
Sure.
that
If
wasn't
you
my
ever want
first
to
time.
really get a feel for what goes
And
on.
yeah, it's exciting. You know, it can be exciting. You know, one of them it was very low key, and we never had any sirens on or anything. But in the other one, there was, and
Oh, okay.
my officer got out of the car and chased a guy that was stealing at Southdale.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, and they caught him, and it was, you know, I told him I wanted to see some action, and he did.
There you go. Watch out what you wish for. Well, we're coming down to the last few minutes here, so why don't you, Chris, why don't you tell us how we can find out about your campaign, more information, and if you have any events coming up?
Sure. My campaign is it's Wedum, WEDUM, 4mn.com for my website. Everything's on there. I do not have an event yet, but it will be on my website when
Okay.
I do start my events.
And people can get signs. Can they sign up for signs?
Yes,
and
yes.
volunteer.
So, yep.
and
Go to my
donations?
website. I've got a volunteer page. I would love all the help I can get. So,
Okay. You're just starting out your door knocking schedule.
yes, yes. I'm very excited. Actually, that's one thing that I get very excited about is meeting everyone, finding out what's important to them, and just talking to the community. So I'm really excited.
Sure. And Kim, how can we find out about your campaign?
Kim Rich, 4mn.org, I believe, is my website.
Okay.
And there might be a QR code there that you can see.
Sure. Yeah, we'll put it
And
up
you
on the
can
bottom there.
donate money. We always need money because we're buying
Yes.
the signs and the literature, and we try to, keep up with whatever we're doing
pay
and
for
making
events
sure we
and,
can get to
parades.
get out to people. The parades, we have to pay money for that.
All the marketing.
And buttons, stickers.
Yeah.
You got to give the little kids a sticker because you don't want to give them a pin
Right.
that they could hurt themselves. So
We
I
have to
always
ask
have
the
a
parents
handful
to
or a
use-
pocket full of stickers and a pocket full of buttons, and you're out there. And when you're knocking the door at some residences, it's not like somebody goes and gets the door. In some houses or apartments, everybody comes to the
Oh,
door.
sure, yep.
And all the kids are looking at you and they want to meet you too. And they're excited that someone's coming over to visit. So,
And that's fun. So.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any events coming up for you? Or?
Attending at the Minnesota Asian Republicans. Forgive me if I've
Oh, I'll
forgotten.
be at that as well.
They're in Minnetonka, and
okay.
I just received an endorsement from those
Oh,
folks.
very good.
And
Congratulations.
so,
Very
yeah,
good.
that's a
Awesome.
good thing, and I'll be there. And then there was something at the Edina Country Club coming up with Quentin Whitrock, who's running for Congress.
Oh, yes.
And I can't remember the others, but I'm one of the people that's there as, they gave me a title, but I forget what it is.
Okay.
So
Is
anyway,
are those events on your website then? Too?
they will be posted there.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So if people wanted to find out and get involved,
Yeah.
real quick, what is one thing that you'd like people to remember about your campaign? Go ahead.
Well, if they've ever met me, I hope they think I'm exciting.
Okay. Being exciting.
Um,
Very good.
I would just say I'm a connector. I am here to connect people and really execute on process.
Oh, very good. Well, I look forward to seeing you guys out and about at all the events, and wishing you lots and lots of luck. And thank you for being here, and good luck.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah. Take care. Thank you for joining us for the Republican Roundtable. We'll see you next time.